Free practice opened with exactly the kind of statement lap you expect on a weekend this big. Jet Lawrence waited for the track to come to him, then detonated a 1 minute and 55.866 seconds, 2 full seconds clear of the board, to stamp the MxGP session, as is from the moment he crossed the stripe. Until then, Ruben Fernandez had briefly grabbed the headline with an early flyer, and Tim Geiser, still not at full fitness, looked ominously tidy as he built pace, ultimately clocking a 1 minute and 57.139 seconds that left him just over a second shy of Lawrence, and importantly, ahead of several U.S. regulars with far more Ironman reps. Belgium's Lucas Koenen reminded everyone why his name has been buzzing all week. After running as low as 10th mid-session, he uncorked a 1 minute and 57.872 seconds to jump to third, proof that once he finds a lines, the speed follows. Behind that lead trio, the order read like a who's who of potential hole shots and heat race daggers. Eli Tomac, Fernandez, Ken Roczen, Romain Febvre, Glenn Koldenhoff, Isaac Gifting, and Antonio Caroli rounded the top 10 as the clock ran to 0. But splits told the story inside the story. Tomac and Roczen were both ultimately quicker than Febvre, the reigning MxGP champ, whose 1 minute and 59.265 seconds left him more than 3 seconds adrift of the AMA 450 title holder Lawrence. That gap doesn't decide Sunday, but it does frame the work list for France before time practice. The bigger eyebrow raise belonged to Geiser. Even nursing the shoulder, he slotted ahead of Ironman lifers and looked composed rather than desperate, which usually means there's more in the tank once the ruts get teeth and the track slows to race pace. Net-net, the outright speed crown in MxGP remains firmly with Jet. Geiser is closer than many expected. Koenen has the ceiling to disrupt, and everyone else is measuring risk versus reward for when times actually set the gate. In MX2, the locals got their pop. Justin Cooper laid down the benchmark early, and even when Cato entered the top spot mid-session, Cooper answered immediately to reassert control and finished P1 at 1 minute and 58.594 seconds. De Wolf's best trained by 0.848, close enough to telegraph a class fight once the track roughens and lap traffic complicates rhythm. Sasha Koenen slotted third at plus 1.094, exactly the kind of opening salvo Belgium wanted from a rider who's been relentlessly top for GPs down the stretch. The depth behind them was just as telling for Sunday math. Guillaume Farès kept swinging very much in the conversation with fourth at plus 2.396 on the triumph. Kyle Webster planted Australia's MX2 anchor in fifth at plus 2.406 with the kind of tidy laps that scale well in points-paying traffic, and France's Mathis Vallon sat sixth at plus 2.600, solid, if short of Tom Vial's usual assurance. Andrea Adamo's plus 2.650 in seventh suggests there's time still to be found for Italy before it counts, and Simon Langenfelder's eighth keeps Germany within striking distance provided his starts mirror his one-lap pace. And the open class kept the storyline humming. Hunter Lawrence matched his brother's authority and topped free practice with a 1 minute and 58.217 seconds, the only rider in the group to dip cleanly under 1:59. RJ Hampshire answered for Team USA with a tidy, mistake-free 2 minutes and 0.037 seconds to go second, while Calvin Vlaanderen slotted the Netherlands into the conversation at 2 minutes and 0.191 seconds, just a fraction behind. Maxime Renault found late-session rhythm to post at 2 minutes and 0.814 seconds for France in fourth. Liam Everts underlined Belgium's depth with a 2 minutes and 1.270 seconds in fifth. And Joe Shimoda, typically a race day riser rather than a time attack specialist, closed the first look at Ironman with a 2 minutes and 1.624 seconds in sixth, quiet, efficient, and exactly the kind of base lap that tends to translate once the bumps appear. The takeaway is as simple as it is ominous for everyone else. Australia's balance is real. Jet Lawrence owned MxGP by 2 seconds, Hunter Lawrence now owns Open, and Kyle Webster sat fifth in MX2. That's 3 clean data points pointing the same direction before time sessions even begin. The United States isn't far off the pace they needed to show on home soil either. Justin Cooper set the MX2 tone. Hampshire is already within 2 seconds of Hunter in Open, and Eli Tomac's fourth in MxGP came with obvious margins still on the table. Belgium's shape remains exactly what the pre-race math suggested it could be. The Koenen brothers both third on raw speed in MxGP and MX2, Everts fifth in Open, and a team sheet that looks more dangerous the rougher and racier the track gets. France has work to do, but not problems it can't solve. Febvre's gap to Jet is the headline. Yet Renault's open pace and Valen's MX2 baseline suggest Sunday's points won't hinge on one class alone.